Hey, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to show you a really fun way to make letters out of royal icing and color flow icing. First, I want to show you how to mix up the royal icing mix. So what's in this bowl is a royal icing mix that really you just have to add water to. And what I like about our royal icing mix is that you can mix up just a little bit. You don't have to do an entire batch. So here I've got measured out 3/4 of a cup. I'm just going to put this in a bowl. You can do as little as a couple of tablespoons. That's fine. So what I like to do is I kind of start with just a half a teaspoon and I'll work up from there. Because you can do as thick or as thin as you want to. This would obviously not be thin enough. It's just powdered, but you're just going to keep adding a half a teaspoon at a time until you like it. I'll go ahead and add some yellow color in here so you can see our texture a little bit better. Okay? So that's going to be mixed into the water. And then you're just going to keep mixing and adding a half a teaspoon of water at a time until you have the proper consistency. So what's great about this is that you can use it for royal icing or you can use it for color flow. So they're basically the same thing except that color flow is a little bit thinner. It's kind of the consistency of honey. So I'm going to show you first how thick I like the royal icing. Some people like it a little thicker than others, just depending on what you're using for. What you're going to do here is you're going to start paddling it, which basically means you're just going to move your spoon back and forth to make sure there's no lumps in there. It's a little thicker still than I would like, so I'm going to add another half a teaspoon, and we're almost there. And you're just going to continue to mix that. And I think once we get this fully incorporated, this is going to be a proper thickness for the royal icing. So here you see that there's lumps in there. Definitely don't stop there, okay? You want to paddle it, okay? And that's just smearing it with a flat side to get all of those lumps out. So this is going to be a soft royal icing right here. So what's great is maybe I went too far with adding water. You can always go back and add like another teaspoon or two of the royal icing mix and you're not losing the drying capacity of the meringue powder that's in there. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and take this down to a color flow mixture. I've pretty much paddled this as much as I feel like it's nice and smooth, so there's not lumps in there. And I'm going to go ahead and add one more half teaspoon of water, and that's going to take it down to the color flow consistency that I want. And how you know that you've got that right is it's kind of like honey. When I pull the icing up, it's going to hold its shape. See that ripple on there for just a couple of seconds, and then it's going to disappear. So that's the consistency that you're looking for in color flow icing. So basically what I've got here is, this is already dry. I did this in pink. What I want to do is find a font that I like. And you can just print this off on computer paper and blow it up to the size that you're going to need. These would be good for going on top of a cake, on the side of a cake, whatever you like. And once they're dry, you can even go back and paint on them or use like a food safe marker to write on those as well. So let me show you first. I actually have two consistencies of purple. And this is a royal icing thickness, and this is a color flow thickness. And whenever, this works for cookies too, but whenever you're doing this, you want to make sure to make a border first. So with your line, make sure that you're not drawing. I'm basically dropping it. Okay, so you're just going to make a complete border. I'm using a tip number 3 here. But you can go down to a 2. You don't want to go with too thick of a tip, like a 5 or a 6, because then the border is a little bit more obvious. So I think a 3 is good. A number 2 or number 3 is a really good thickness of a round tip to use on this. So again, you'll see that I'm just kind of dropping this into place. I'm not actually drawing with it. Okay, now that I've got a complete border, I can go ahead and grab my color flow mixture, and you'll see how this runs a little bit better. And I keep my tip down in there so that there aren't any seams. And I just want to fill this up so it kind of has a puffy look to it. And you want to make sure that you complete this all at once rather than stopping and taking a break. You need to make sure that you go from beginning to end within each shape, or else you're going to have a blocked off look. So just fill it up, but be sure not to overfill it because that can get kind of ugly. If you put this under a desk lamp to dry, it gives it an even glossier look. So you'll see how that falls out into shape and has just a nice, even look. Okay? These are already dry. These dried for several days, and then you can just take a spatula, and they lift right up. And as I said, you can attach like a toothpick to the back or a skewer to the back, and they can stand up on top of a cake, or you can draw on them and they can go on the side of a cake as well. And these are fun little things that I made as well. These are little hearts, okay? These hearts are really, really easy to make. Just a couple of tips I have for you. I'm just using the color flow icing here, and I want to make sure that I separate really, really well. I'm kind of making like a V shape, drawing down to a point, and look how far apart I am from the top, and I'm again just drawing down to that V point. Because what's going to happen are is going to flow together. Look at this one. I didn't separate it as well, and the top of the heart isn't as defined as some of these other ones. Like this one I like a lot. This one has a really nice tail here. So once these dry, you can pick these up and attach them to anything from cupcakes, top a cookie with them, put them on the side of cakes, do tons of little colors. They're fun just to eat as little candies if you want to flavor those a fun flavor like strawberry. So that's just a really easy way to do some letters, some little heart decor. This would be a fun thing to do for a birthday cake or for Valentine's Day. So give it a try. I hope you have fun with it. Thanks for watching.